You've obviously...
Everyone's doing it.
Everyone's doing Trump. And the thing is, you like to find the rhythm of the guy and the little ticks
the
that
little,
they have.
many people, excuse me, many people, excuse me, many people, excuse me, many, you're gonna be happy, you're gonna be happy, like, you know, happy, you're gonna be, excuse me.
What just happened on live TV shocked everyone. People were laughing, gasping, and even covering their mouths in disbelief. One moment, it was all jokes and fun. The next, it was a full-blown disaster for Donald Trump, that is. And the man behind it all? Comedian Dana Carvey. Now, we all know Dana Carvey for his funny impressions and hilarious jokes.
One of the funniest people I have ever had the pleasure to call my boss. Please welcome Dana Carvey.
He's been on TV for decades making people laugh. But this time, he went a little too far, or maybe just far enough to hit a nerve with Trump. On a national stage, with cameras rolling and millions watching, Dana cracked a joke that shook the room. The topic? Trump's marriage. And not just any joke, it was a punchline that hit so deep, even Trump couldn't hold back his anger. He didn't laugh, he didn't smile, he melted down right there, in front of everyone. This wasn't just another comedy roast. It turned into a real-life drama. Social media exploded. News channels picked it up within minutes. People started asking, did Dana Carvey really just say that? And is Trump okay? In this video, we're diving deep into the crazy moment that rocked the stage, how Trump reacted, what Dana really meant, and how this unexpected scene could change things forever. From the laughter to the outrage, this story has it all. So grab a snack, sit back, and get ready, because you're about to hear the whole story in a way you've never heard it before. Trust me, you don't want to miss a single second of this. Let's jump right into it. The night that changed everything. It was supposed to be just another fun night, glamorous, loud, and full of laughter. A big live TV special was happening. One of those shiny Hollywood-style events where stars from every corner of entertainment showed up looking their best. Comedians, actors, TV hosts, and even politicians were there. The cameras were flashing non-stop. The lights on stage were bright, colorful, and exciting. People were smiling, drinks were in hand, and laughter filled the air before the show even began. The event was being broadcast live across the country. Millions of people were watching from their living rooms, expecting a mix of lighthearted fun and bold jokes. The kind of event where celebrities get roasted, and nobody takes it too seriously, at least. That's how it's supposed to go. In the middle of this buzzing atmosphere, Dana Carvey was announced as one of the night's main performers. Everyone clapped and cheered. Dana isn't just any comedian, he's a legend. People remember him from Saturday Night Live, where he made the whole world laugh with his spot-on impressions. Presidents, pop stars, world leaders, nobody was safe from his clever jokes. He was bold, sharp, and always funny. He had joked about George H.W. Bush in the past, even making his "wouldn't be prudent" line famous.
Together, President Bush and his comedic foil, Dana Carvey, forged a perhaps unexpected friendship.
He teased Obama with charm and poked at other presidents too. And yes, he had made jokes about Donald Trump before, but this time, something was different. The energy in the room shifted as soon as Dana stepped onto the stage. He looked calm and confident, walking slowly to the microphone. The crowd clapped louder. Dana gave his classic crooked smile, waited for the cheers to die down, and started off easy. His first few jokes were silly, even sweet. He teased a few celebrities in the crowd. Everyone laughed. Even Trump, who was sitting in the audience near the front, was seen smiling at first. But then Dana paused. It was a short silence, but it felt longer. The kind of silence that makes people sit up straighter, wondering what's coming next. He looked straight ahead, directly into the camera, and with perfect comic timing, dropped a line that changed the mood in an instant. He joked about Trump's marriage. And not just a small, harmless joke. Dana said something that hinted at the marriage being more of a show than real love. He joked about how it seemed colder than a New York winter. and how Melania always looked like she was posing, not loving. The audience reacted fast. Some laughed hard, others gasped. Some people looked around nervously, unsure if it was okay to laugh. It was the kind of joke that cuts deeper than usual. The kind that isn't just funny, it feels personal. Trump didn't laugh. His smile vanished in seconds. His face tensed up. His skin, usually orange-toned from his tan, looked even redder now. He leaned slightly forward in his seat. His eyes narrowed. His lips tightened. People sitting nearby noticed right away. Trump wasn't brushing it off. He wasn't chuckling politely like he sometimes does when people tease him on camera. No, this was different. He was clearly furious. From that moment on, the vibe in the room completely changed. A few people in the audience started whispering. A couple of guests looked over at Trump, unsure if he would stand up and walk out. Dana, on the other hand, didn't skip a beat. He moved on to another joke like nothing happened, but everyone knew something major had just gone down.
I know these people. They're friends of mine, okay? So that's Trump. That's why the people who love him.
The cameras kept rolling, but now the attention had shifted. Viewers at home were no longer focused on the jokes they were watching Trump's face. They were rewinding, pausing, and replaying that moment when the joke landed and his expression changed. People took screenshots. They posted them online with captions like, "He's not laughing now," and "That joke hit too hard." By the end of the night, the moment had already gone viral. News outlets were calling it the most awkward live TV moment of the year. Social media exploded with opinions, and everyone had the same question. Did Dana Carvey just humiliate Trump on national TV? It started as a night full of laughter. But with one well-timed joke, Dana Carvey turned it into one of the most talked-about events of the year and the beginning of what would become a full-blown Trump meltdown. Trump's meltdown begins. After Dana Carvey delivered that shocking joke about Trump's marriage, the room was filled with strange energy. Some people were still laughing nervously, others were whispering to each other, and a few just sat in stunned silence. Everyone expected Trump to do what he usually does in these kinds of situations, put on a forced smile, maybe give a little shrug, and pretend it didn't bother him. He'd done it before. He knew how to play it cool, at least in public. But not this time. This time, everything felt different. Trump didn't laugh. He didn't smile. Instead, he slowly stood up from his seat. At first, people thought he might just be stretching or walking out for a quick break. But then they saw his face, and it said everything. His eyes were wide, his eyebrows were pulled down tight, and his mouth was pressed in a thin, angry line. His usual confidence was replaced with pure frustration. He started shaking his head fast and firm like he couldn't believe what had just happened. Then came the hand gestures. His arms moved quickly. He pointed sharply at someone beside him. His hands were waving around as he talked. No yelling at whoever was sitting next to him. It was clear that Trump wasn't just annoyed. He was boiling. The cameras, which had been focused on Dana just moments before, quickly cut to another angle. Producers likely panicked, trying to avoid showing Trump's outburst live on television. But they were too late. For a few quick seconds, millions of people watching at home got a perfect view of his red, furious face. Those few seconds were more than enough to make the moment go viral. People in the audience began whispering loudly. Someone in the back gasped, and others turned around in their seats, hoping to catch a better look. This wasn't just a moment of discomfort, it was a full-on meltdown. The air inside the room felt heavy, almost like something bad was about to happen. The laughter from earlier had completely vanished. Backstage, things were no better. According to people close to the event, Trump stormed out of his seat and made his way behind the curtains, shouting the entire time. Staff members were seen rushing around trying to calm him down, but he wouldn't stop. He kept yelling about the joke being disgusting and deeply personal. One source said he kept repeating, "They planned this. They knew. They set me up." He wasn't just mad at Dana Carvey, he was mad at everyone. He pointed fingers at the organizers, accusing them of letting this happen on purpose. He blamed his own team for not warning him. He even questioned if someone close to him had known about the joke ahead of time and didn't say anything. All this anger didn't stay behind closed doors for long. The internet caught fire almost immediately. Within minutes of the joke being aired and Trump's reaction being caught on camera, social media exploded. Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook were flooded with clips from the show. Hashtags like Trump Meltdown, Triggered Trump, and Dana did what started trending across the globe. People were sharing slowed-down videos of Trump's face changing from calm to furious. Others turned his hand-waving into GIFs. Memes popped up every second, some showing Trump as a cartoon volcano about to explode, others putting funny captions over his angry expressions. One tweet read, "Trump's ego couldn't take one joke," while another said, "Dana Carvey broke the internet and Trump's patience." Late-night talk shows quickly jumped on the moment too, turning it into their lead joke for the night. It was everywhere, and there was no escaping it. What had started as a comedy show had now become something else entirely. It wasn't just a joke anymore, it was a media hurricane.
He's like the opposite of Trump. I figure America always goes opposite.
The kind of moment that people would be talking about for days, maybe even weeks. Reporters rushed to cover the story. Political commentators argued on live panels. Supporters defend Trump, calling the joke unfair, while critics laughed and called it karma. No matter where you stood, one thing was clear. Trump didn't just take offense. He took it personally. And that one moment, broadcast to millions, had shaken him more than anyone could have guessed. Dana Carvey's reaction. Was it on purpose? The aftermath of Dana Carvey's joke about Donald Trump's marriage was wild, and as the shockwaves rippled through the entertainment world, everyone started asking the same question. Did Dana plan this? Was this all part of some calculated move to stir up trouble? Or was it just another one of those off-the-cuff moments that comedians live for, where the joke lands harder than expected? As the event wrapped up and the cameras stopped rolling, reporters and curious fans wasted no time in tracking down Dana. They wanted answers. Was he feeling guilty? Did he regret crossing the line? The moment was now a viral sensation, and everyone wanted to know if Dana had meant to cause such a stir or if it was simply an unfortunate slip-up. Dana, however, seemed completely unfazed by the attention his joke had caused. When approached by reporters backstage, he simply flashed his famous smile and shrugged it off. He was cool and collected, even in the face of controversy. "I just tell jokes," he said with a light-hearted tone. "If they land, they land." There was no apology, no backing down. He didn't seem to feel bad about what he'd said. It was almost as if the whole thing didn't bother him one bit. For Dana, this wasn't his first time stepping into the line of fire. He'd been a professional comedian for decades. In that time, he'd made his fair share of bold, risky jokes. He had always poked fun at politicians, presidents, governors, even the royals, but never before had a single joke caused such an explosion of reactions. Yet Dana's response was to laugh it off, as if this was just another day in the life of a comedian. But the internet wasn't letting him off that easily. Fans were torn. Some people rushed to Dana's defense, claiming that comedians have always jokes about politicians, no matter how powerful or controversial they are. In fact, many argued that Dana was just doing what comedians do best, taking the world's biggest public figures and turning them into punchlines. Comedians have been roasting presidents for decades. Why should Trump be any different? They argued. However, there was also a vocal group of people who felt the joke crossed a line. Some viewers, including several Trump supporters, felt like Dana's comment was too personal. They claimed that making jokes about a man's marriage, especially when it involved accusations of it being fake or for show, went below the belt. It wasn't just politics, it was family, and for many, family jokes were off limits. The debate around the joke quickly turned into a public spectacle, with everyone from political pundits to everyday social media users offering their opinions. The loudest voices were those who felt that Dana's joke was not just a harmless laugh, it was a targeted attack. Why would he go there? Some wondered. Was there some hidden agenda behind that comment? Dana, however, was no stranger to controversy. Over the years, he had made countless bold and risky jokes that pushed the boundaries of comedy. He had made fun of presidents, celebrities, and other public figures. But this time, it felt like he had struck a deeper chord than usual. His comment about Trump's marriage seemed to hit harder than any of his past jokes. Was it just an innocent joke that went too far? Or did Dana know exactly what he was doing? Did he realize that by making fun of Trump's personal life, he would open the door to all kinds of speculation? The marriage joke wasn't just funny, it raised serious questions. Was Trump's marriage really struggling? Was it all just a show, like Dana suggested? Did the public know the truth? Or was Dana hinting at something that no one else dared to say out loud? That's when the real gossip started. Behind closed doors, people began talking. Was Dana Carvey, the famous comedian, using humor as a way to shed light on something no one had dared to talk about? Was there a deeper truth buried beneath his words? Fans and critics alike started speculating, with many diving into the personal lives of the Trumps. There were rumors about a strained marriage. There were stories about long silences and awkward moments between Donald and Melania, both in public and private. But what was real, and what was just gossip? As Dana's joke continued to circulate, it sparked more than just a few chuckles. It ignited a conversation about Trump's personal life that no one could ignore. Was the joke just another playful jab? Or did Dana know more than he was letting on? As the public dissected the moment, it became clear that this was no ordinary joke. It had touched on something much bigger, something that people were too scared to talk about until now. Whether or not Dana intended it, his joke had done exactly what comedians do best. It made everyone think. The public reaction, laughter, shock, and speculation. The moment Dana Carvey made his controversial joke about Donald Trump's marriage, it didn't just land in the comedy world, it exploded across the entire public stage. As soon as the clip made its way to social media, the internet turned into an all-out war zone. People couldn't stop talking about it, but they weren't just talking about the joke itself. They were fighting over the bigger issue. What's fair when it comes to making fun of public figures, especially their personal lives? On one side, you had people who felt that it was simply comedy, nothing more, nothing less. They argued that Dana was just doing his job as a comedian. It's just comedy, they said, trying to shrug off the intense reactions. Trump needs to chill out. He's a public figure. He's been roasted by comedians for years. Why is he flipping out over one joke? They pointed to other famous moments where public figures had been the butt of jokes, claiming that this was just part of the game. After all, being a comedian is about making fun of politicians, celebrities, anyone with a public persona. Dana's job, they argued, was simply to entertain people, not to hold back because of someone's feelings. On the other side, however, were those who thought that Dana's joke went too far. For them, making fun of someone's marriage wasn't just crossing a line, it was diving headfirst into personal territory. A man's marriage is off limits, they said. They felt that Dana had no right to bring up something as intimate as a marriage, especially when it involved questions about whether or not it was real or just for show. For these viewers, the joke didn't feel funny, it felt cruel. It felt like an attack, and they weren't afraid to voice their opinions about it. The debate didn't stop with Twitter users. It spilled over into TV, where morning talk shows and news outlets quickly picked up the story. TV hosts spent hours discussing the fallout from the joke, trying to understand whether it was just another celebrity roast or if it was, in fact, a personal jab that crossed the line. Some hosts defended Dana, saying that he was just doing what comedians do. Others criticized him, saying that he should have known better than to go after something so private. YouTubers quickly jumped into the fray too. Channels across the platform uploaded reaction videos where they analyzed the moment frame by frame, breaking down Dana's words and Trump's reaction. Meanwhile, Twitter was a battleground. Tweets flooded the platform, with some people defending the joke, while others fired back with angry threads. Memes started circulating, one image showing Trump's angry face, while the caption read, "When the roast goes too far." Others took it even further, creating posts that called for Dana to apologize, while some demanded that the comedian face consequences for what they saw as a personal attack. It seemed like everyone had an opinion, and the debate just kept growing. As the online drama continued to unfold, people started focusing more on the Trump family dynamic. Suddenly, it wasn't just about Dana Carvey's joke, it was about the Trump marriage itself. People began digging up old interviews with Melania Trump, going through photos, and analyzing body language clips from past public appearances. The internet loves to speculate, and this situation was no different. Many began to question the true nature of Trump's relationship with Melania. Was it really as perfect as it seemed? Or was there tension behind the scenes? Some people claimed they could spot signs that Melania seemed unhappy during certain public events. There were accusations that she looked uncomfortable or distant, almost like she was putting on an act to appear supportive. "Look at her body language," people tweeted, pointing to moments when she avoided holding hands with her husband or seemed uninterested in his speeches. Others argued that she simply valued her privacy and wasn't interested in performing for the cameras. But no matter the explanation, the speculation grew. Suddenly, Dana's joke didn't feel like just another comedy bit. It didn't feel like a simple roast of a politician anymore. It felt like a truth bomb in disguise. Was Dana saying something that everyone had been thinking, but no one dared to say out loud? Was the marriage between Donald and Melania really as picture-perfect as they had always presented it to be? Or was there something deeper, something that Dana was hinting at without fully acknowledging? This shift in the conversation changed the way people viewed the joke. It wasn't just about the punchline anymore, it was about what Dana might have known, or what he might have been implying about the personal lives of the Trump family.
Trump is the impression of the year.
Right.
You're one of the great impressionists. How are you going to evolve this Trump impression?
I don't
what do you think's
know
going to happen with it?
I don't know what to do with it. I don't know where it's going. I keep discovering hooks. I could promise you that. I could tell you that. They're friends of mine. Okay.
For some, this felt like a major revelation, a peek behind the curtain of the public personas that had been carefully crafted for years. As the days went on, the gossip only got louder. Every new report, every new interview only seemed to add fuel to the fire. And even though Dana Carvey had moved on from the joke, the rest of the world seemed to be stuck in a whirlwind of laughter, shock, and endless speculation. What this means for Trump moving forward. After the live event went viral, Donald Trump didn't just let things slide. He took to his favorite platform, social media, and fired back with force. In a post filled with anger, Trump called Dana Carvey washed up and accused him of using cheap shots just to get laughs. He said the joke wasn't clever, it was cruel. He demanded an apology right then and there. But Dana, he didn't respond. He stayed quiet, as if the comment didn't bother him at all. That silence, it only made people talk more. Soon after, Trump's team sent out a short statement to the press. In it, they called Dana's joke out of line and said it crossed a personal boundary.
Our president, President Trump, he comes up a lot on these shows, but I have to ask you, he has had a difficult...
Families should not be targets of humor, the statement read. They tried to remind people that public figures still have private lives, and that comedy shouldn't go after people's spouses or kids. It was clear Trump and his team were trying to take control of the narrative and stop the storm. But for Trump, this moment didn't just fade away, it left a mark. Many people began saying that the way he handled the situation could hurt his image going forward. They expected Trump to brush it off like he usually does, maybe crack a joke back or show he wasn't affected. But that didn't happen. He looked shaken, he looked angry, And most of all, he looked like the joke hit a nerve. Some of his usual fans started speaking up, not with full support, but with disappointment. He should have laughed it off, one person posted. It made him look thin-skinned. Others said, "Where's the tough guy now?" These weren't haters. They were people who often defended him. But this time, they didn't like how he reacted. To them, this wasn't strength, it was an overreaction. Still, not everyone turned on Trump. There were plenty of loyal supporters who said he did the right thing. They believed he was standing up for his wife and defending his family. "That's what a real man does," one supporter tweeted. "He doesn't let anyone insult the people he loves." To them, Trump wasn't weak. He was being protective. And for many in his base, family means everything. But no matter how people saw it, good or bad, the damage had already been done. The clip of Trump's face, red with anger, waving his hands, and walking out of the event had already been watched millions of times. It became a meme. It became a trending topic. It became a moment that won't just disappear. In the world of politics and fame, image is everything. And this image of Trump losing his cool over one joke is now part of his story. Whether it fades or grows stronger over time depends on what happens next. But one thing is certain. People will remember the night Dana Carvey told one joke and Trump couldn't take it. So what's the big takeaway from all this? Sometimes a simple joke can turn into a huge moment. Dana Carvey was just doing what comedians do to make people laugh. But one line hit a nerve so hard, it caused a meltdown on live TV. Trump's reaction gave the joke more power than it ever had. Instead of walking away with class, he exploded. And now, that one moment is being replayed, shared, and talked about all over the world. It shows us something interesting about fame and power. Even the biggest leaders, with all their money and status, can still be shaken by just a few words. This wasn't just about humor, it became a moment of truth. People saw Trump in a new light, not as a strong, fearless man, but as someone who couldn't handle a joke about his personal life. Dana Carvey may have just done what no one else could get under Trump's skin on live TV, in front of millions. Whether you think it was funny or too far, one thing's for sure. It made waves. And it got people talking. And that's what powerful storytelling does. It opens eyes, starts conversations, and makes us all think. Thanks for reading. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more explosive moments and unbelievable stories from the world of politics, power, and entertainment. Until next time, stay curious, stay bold, and keep questioning the spotlight.